Okay, well, that's interesting. Hello. This is Rosie from the Healthy Knitting Podcast, and I have just recorded with the new iMovie, and all of a sudden I get a little error message that it aborted frames. And so apparently what I've just recorded was not recorded, and I don't have a lot of time today. Today is October 31st, 2013, and my car needs to be inspected, and I need to get that done, and there are going to be a line because there are many of us who do this, and I've done this before, and I've waited for quite a long time to get my car inspected. Of course, I could go do this tomorrow morning and try to nonchalantly drive past the police, but I have been pulled over for not having my sticker on. How they see this, I've got no idea, but they do. It's not that big of a deal, but then you have to get it inspected and you have to go to the court and place and tell them, here, I've done this, and it gets thrown out, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm hoping this works. So take two. So I posted in the Ravelry group that my mom was ill and I was trying to record, but I couldn't because two reasons. Hospice called and said, you need to come now, and while I was trying to prepare for recording, I couldn't figure out how to find the FaceTime in the first place. They didn't call it that on here. They just said, record, and I couldn't even figure out how to record. Now, I think this new iMovie is going to be an issue for a little bit, but hopefully this will save it and I can get this done. Anyway, my mom did pass yesterday, and I've spent 2 days up with her at the place where she lives, and so it's been a long couple of days, and I'm a little bit tired and not all with it, and probably won't do the healthy tip right now. I have something that I want to show you. I actually bought the materials to do it, put it in the refrigerator, and I just have been so busy with things that I haven't had a chance to try it out, and I want to try it out before I actually say, hey, you should try this recipe because it looks really cool. So maybe over the weekend I can get that done and then put it in a separate video with the tip and recipe, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my brain cannot handle everything right now, and I've got a lot of stuff to show you because it's been a while since I've seen you last. So anyway, my big thank yous go out to the people who have cared for my mom for the last 3 years. They've been wonderful, like family, and I know she really appreciated it and felt very loved. Buddy wants to say hello. He's been feeling a little neglected because I haven't been here. Come here, bud. You want to say hi? He's so cute. And we'll just jump right into new and good. So new and good is that I have been to Rhinebeck, and that was really fun, and I got to meet some podcasters and see some old friends, make some new friends. It was really fun. The weather was absolutely perfect. If you were there, you know how beautiful the weather was. If you were not there, it was like the perfect fall day. We've been so lucky here. It hasn't been raining. A lot of times fall will come and it'll just be cold and windy and all the leaves will come down in no time flat. And then this year, it's been a godsend, and I'm very grateful that I am here because I wasn't planning on being here. I shouldn't have been at Rhinebeck. I should have been in my new location, and maybe I'll talk about that at the end of the show because it's getting there now. I can be able to get there a little sooner. So Rhinebeck was new and good, and I've done some hiking, which has been really fun, and visiting with my friends, and I'm wondering if one of the reasons why the delay is also so that I can spend some more time with my friends. So we're planning on doing things every weekend so that I can see the most of them, because once I move, it will be, Skyping and Google Plusing, and I won't be able to see them in person as much, and I'm going to miss that very much. What else is new and good? I have been doing some things I'll talk about in the fiber section, which has been really new and good. And I've already talked about this, so I've already forgotten. Rhinebeck, new and good for Rhinebeck. I did get some fiber, mostly, and I don't have a lot of it here to show you right now. As it comes up, I'll show you, because I'm going to do some things. I've got fuzz flying all over the place now. Do some things with the fiber as quickly as I can, and some is going to get processed and spun up right away, and others I need to store, but I will show you as we go. But I did get 2 skeins of yarn. That was it, and this was a last minute purchase right before I left, thanks to one of my friends who goes, oh, let's go check out Still Never. When I was there earlier on Saturday, I couldn't even get in the booth. holy smokes. Rhinebeck was so busy. I mean, really, my first pass through, I was able to get through a barn or two. And then after that, I just was like, peeking over people's shoulders. If I did get in, I got so claustrophobic that I had to get out. So I just walked around a lot the first day. I didn't really buy a lot. I went to the fleece sale. I bought 2 fleeces, a cute little Shetland fleece, and I'll show you that later. I've washed it already and separated it into 3 piles, and I want to spin that right away because it's so cute. It's such a soft Shetland, and it's this beautiful tawny brown. It's really gorgeous, and I might even do some over dyeing on some of it, and I haven't figured out what I want to make yet. It's all washed and 3-sectioned out. It's only 18, a little over a pound and 3 ounces or something like that. So there's not a lot there, so I want to make sure I plan carefully, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the spinning section about how I'm viewing my spinning fibers and what I'm doing for things like that. But anyway, go back. This is the yarn from Still River Mill. It's called Slinky Mink, and apparently the minks are not harmed during the gathering of their fiber. However, I don't really know how I feel about it yet, so I'm going to do a little bit more research on it and see how I feel about it. It's beautiful to knit with. It came with a free cowl pattern. I may not use this to make that cowl. I was thinking more like something for my hands. There is, it's mink, silk, and merino, and there is only 100 yards in a skein. So, just thinking fingerless gloves, something around my hands that would be very soft and silky, and you know, to feel like you, when you want to be cuddled, to wear something like that than rather a cowl. So, haven't decided completely yet, but this was total impulse purchase. Beautiful yarn though, absolutely beautiful. My friend bought a bunch of it to make as gifts for other people. She's very thoughtful like that. So, anyway, let's just jump into what I've got on my head. I have a hat from the French Girl Knits book. I told you about that last week, that I was considering making it, and I was considering making it out of Classic Elite Miracle, which I did not use. I used Mirasol Kacha, and this is in the chocolate plum colorway. It's like a purpley brown. It's really beautiful. It's very soft yarn. I do recommend working with this yarn. It was very nice. It's got nice stitch definition. I haven't even blocked this, and the stitches are beautiful. Like, there's just no irregularities. I think it just poofs in where it needs to go, as I am not the best knitter in the world. You know, I've been knitting for a long time, but, you know, blocking can always help something out. This didn't need any blocking whatsoever. Beautiful yarn. And it's really soft, and this yarn is Merino Alpaca Silk. It's a DK weight. There's only 98 yards for a DK weight, so it is a little shorter on average DK weight yarn sizing, but totally worth it. Like, I love this. I would knit with this yarn again for sure. And the hat is supposed to have a little ribbon that I didn't really understand it. You can't really see it in the picture. They adorn it with a cute, looks like a little button and some feathers. And I am going to use my mom's brooches. She has some old costume jewelry. So I'm just going to, whenever I want, tack on a little brooch right here. She has some little bling, not too blingy. I'm not a total bling person, but a little bling can be kind of fun, right? So that's why I made the hat, so I could actually use some of her things so I can remember her by. So that's one thing done. And that I finished right away. That didn't take very long to make. It's basically stocking knit on the round and a little bit of shaping, and then you're done. So cute pattern, really easy. Next thing I did was I didn't really knit a whole lot of new things. This was the only new thing I had going. But I finished my plain vanilla socks, except for that. I still have, or did I weave it in yesterday? Maybe I wove the end in yesterday. I'm not sure. No, I didn't. I forgot to weave in these ends. So, or no, it's woven in. I just need to trim it. Well, that's easy. Anyway, Santa Fe yarn, my vanilla sock pattern, my favorite one, and I changed the heel to Eye of the Partridge. because that's my favorite heel. Wears like iron and it's so pretty. These fit like a glove. I only had 6 grams of yarn left over, and I keep those just in case I get a hole or something. Excuse me, they look kind of tiny, but they stretch out. I'm a size 8 foot. And they stretch perfect to fit over my feet. What else did I want to tell you? I think that was it about the socks. I finished it. All I brought when I went Monday to see my mom was the socks. I just kind of like ran out of the house. Hospice called, and I'm like, okay. And that's all I had with me. So I finished those up right away, and I spent the night, and I came home the next morning to take care of my animals and leave, and that's when I grabbed some more things. So I was able to have something else to do with her on Tuesday. So the other thing that I did was, guess what? I finished the sweater. So, well, it's finished except for I need 3 buttons. There are 3 buttonholes on this sweater on this side where they should be, because the buttonholes are on the other side. It's just a 3 buttonhole sweater. And there's a little bit of a, it needs to be blocked. So, oh goodness. So this is it. It's basically just 2 cables down the front. I added a little extra shaping in the waist, and I made long sleeves because it didn't have long sleeves, and I did my sleeves from the top down. And I guess I'm just going to put really in here now, because while I was doing this, I think I told you, it was 2 years ago that I completed most of the sweater and I didn't have the sleeve left. And I have very, very vague notes, but my notes had something like 78 stitches, and it had a marker for 28, and then worked to 6 to 7 stitches. So I'm like, okay, so I picked up the stitches and I wound up getting 80. I'm like, oh, so that must be close. I'll just work around, and I'll just, at the end, when I get down here, I'll just decrease 2 stitches on each side and then back to 78. And I did all that, and I tried it on, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was ginormous. And this is not just a gauge issue. Because I did actually wind up changing the needle size halfway during the sleeve to a size 7, because it wasn't matching up with the decreases that I had marked on the other side. Oh, which is something I was going to show you. I don't think I have a marker in here, but I'll just tell you about it. Anyway, so I had to rip it all out and start over, and then I decided, well, why don't you just count the stitches that you have on the other sleeve? Why didn't I think of that before? 56, picked up 56. I counted all of the turns, the wraps and turns. I did all of that. I followed that completely, and then it was perfect. So what I like to do when I'm doing a sleeve is mark, especially if I don't have a pattern for it. If I have a pattern, I usually check off every row that I do, and so this way I'm doing the same thing for the second sleeve. But if I don't have that, I'm not going to write every row one. So what I'll do is I'll just, when I do a decrease, which starts around here, I'll put one of those removable markers in, and then I'll work X amount of rows till the next decrease, and I'll mark that decrease. So I have all of these in removable markers on there, and that's what I did. And then I just held the project up next to it, and I said, okay, here's where the next decrease goes. I counted the amount of stitches between, knit that many rounds, and that's why I had to switch to 7s, because on my first round of decreasing it, I was getting more. I think my this way gauge was okay, but my up and down row gauge was too big. So I switched to the 7s, and it was fine, because everything else is knit on 8s, and then I went down to 6s for the cuff. But just needs blocking and some buttonholes, and I'm done. Yay! Off my list. It's so good to get these things off my list. I did buy some yarn because I want to make a project, and I said that I wasn't going to allow myself to buy that yarn if I didn't finish that green sweater. So I finished it. And you know what? It wasn't that bad. Why I make things out to be so horrible, I don't know. So I am going to put down my iPad now, because we're done with everything that's on and off the needles. Oh, no, we're not. I tried to make a hat. I tried to make... Do I even have it in here? Nope. I'm not even sure what hat this is. I am awful. Oh, yes, I do know. It's in my queue, though, because I didn't turn it around. Kelso hat? Hang on. I'll show you a picture of it, because it's super cute. And I like it a lot, and I wanted to use handspun making this hat. But I didn't want to do ribbing, because I really liked the Reich hat, and I liked how that looked. Oh, it's called Molly. Kelso. All right. So this is the hat. Am I glaring too much? I'm probably glaring too much. It's called Molly by Aaron Ruth. Okay. Oops. Sorry. It's really cute. And I know there's a little bit of glare in there. I'm sorry. I can't tell if it's not getting any glare. So instead of doing the ribbing, I wanted to do the same thing for the right hat, which is garter stitch. So I cast on with my hand spun, and so we're gonna like switch into spinning at this point too now. These singles were done, no joke, 20 years ago. I just plied them the other day. Yeah. This is why it's not even. I couldn't tell where a lot of the twist was because it was so relaxed after 20 years of not, it didn't have anything. It was pretty balanced when I got done, a little not perfectly balanced after washing, but still, I was surprised, and it's usable and it's nice and soft. I think this is merino, Ashland Bay merino, you know, when it comes in the colors. It kind of looks, I'm covering, I don't have enough room for everything. I've got so much stuff to show you, it's crazy. It's the stuff that kind of looks like this, except the colors were different. And I think this has silk in it, but this did not. I don't think so. It feels really soft though, but I don't, it's not shiny, so I don't think there's any silk in this. So anyway, I started and look, it's too big. So I have to rip all this out and cast on fewer stitches. I'm just going to count how many stitches and then what size I need and then start over. That hat actually increases to a certain amount to get the stitches. It's a free pattern. You have a panel of cables, and I think the rest is like a waffle stitch or something. So according to them, you do the brim and then you're adding on all these extra stitches, and then you do your setup round, and then you knit the rest of the garment, the hat. So I just need to make this smaller and then figure out how many stitches I need to add extra and which way to distribute them. But I think it would look nice in this because it's kind of tweedy. Can you see it? It's like browns and grays and reds and things like that. And I don't have any other kind of yarn that looks mottled like that in worsted weight. I do have DK weight that I dyed a long time ago with Kool-Aid, but I don't think I have enough of it to make that hat. But I kind of like how that hat looked with, it wasn't like a solid color. So I thought it would be less boring. So I wanted to use some hand spun, especially old stuff, like really 20 years ago. Yeah. The pile over way in that corner is really old. There's some stuff in there that's like the first hand spun that I've done. It's crazy old. So anyway, I have been spinning. Oh, Rhinebeck. This is, I was not planning on buying any fleeces, and I was not planning on buying any spindles. And guess what I did? I bought 2 fleeces and 2 spindles. How does this happen? Anyway, this is my new trindle. Isn't it adorable? Yeah, I'm gonna get up in a second. Hopefully I can cut it out. Otherwise Buddy will keep you entertained, because I really have no idea what's gonna happen when I finish this podcast, because everything in iMovie is now totally different. And all of my old videos are now not usable because they're not complying with the new software. Oh, I don't get it. I don't understand. Anyway, this is one of the tiny ones, and I have Millefiori beads on there. Aren't they super cute? Super, super cute. So I did this at my mom's the other day. It's Romney. I'm gonna go get my bag because all that stuff's in there, and my other trindle is in there too. So hold on. Buddy, keep him entertained. Okay. So, did Buddy keep you entertained? So I had been dyeing, and I've been using the Greener Shades dye. I made all the stock, and then I was just having fun playing with it. So this is American Romney roving that I bought, and it does look a mess, but it's really not felted or anything. It's just in a jumble. And I did this in the crock pot. I went to Goodwill, and I bought a crock pot for 10 bucks. And it works just fine. It takes a long time to get up to temperature. So that does take a little longer than steaming, but if I want to do the immersion method, that really is the easiest way for me to do it. So I think there was, I don't remember. I did actually put it in my Ravelry, and there's something wrong with the whole thing. iPhoto, I couldn't actually import photos into my iPhoto so that I could, off my phone, so I could actually put photos into Ravelry, because I've been taking pictures of the fiber and stuff like that, and I'm trying to, like, as I go, add the fiber thing and add the spinning project, and it wouldn't work. So I don't know, maybe I just need to restart my computer or something. And in here is also another trindle. Here it is. So I also bought the long shafted trindle, and this is a little bit more weight. And oh, here's the little pieces. I bought 3 arms. I keep saying I'm sorry. So I got, that was a micro trindle, and that one I don't have the weight on. Then the Millefiori is 3.2 grams. And then I also have garnet, which is 11 grams. 11 grams. This is what the garnet ones look like. Oops, not coming out very good. Ah, there we go. And so this actually now has 6 holes for you to use. So you can actually add another set if you wanted to. So I also have Perdot, 4.5 grams. So you can make your trindle heavier or lighter depending on what you want to spin. And I had this idea that if I started out heavier and I had all 6 on, and I filled up my cop enough to be the amount of one of the arms, then I took off these and just kept these on, filled up some more, and then if I wanted to, I can take out the heavier ones and put back on the lighter ones, and I could fill it up a little bit more than I would if I just had a stationary one that the whorl wouldn't change in weight. Idea, because I did actually spin some yarn. I will show you that. It's been fun to play with. Yeah, it's cute. Spindles are adorable, and they're quite fun, and they can be addictive, because I also was going to get the one that was about this size, or I think the shaft might have been almost as long, but it was a lot thinner, so you could put more cop on there than this one, and it was just a little bit heavier, but I thought this was so darn cute. I mean, the size of it, it's probably, what, 7 inches? I mean, it's just so sweet. So anyway, that was my spindle purchase, and that was really fun. I got that at Gail's Art. She's super nice, and I didn't buy any fiber from her, but I did get a lot of inspiration, and which has been my whole dyeing thing. I'll show you that in a second. So when I got my spindle, I spun on both of them. I bought 2 of these. This is Cashmere and Bombyx Comb Top. I got this at Little Barn, and it's just plain white, and I've spun up one whole package already, so half an ounce went on the little one and half an ounce went on the bigger one, and then I applied them together. And it's not great. You can see that it's not even at all, and that's not the fault of the spindle. That's more the fault of me not being able to work with these fibers. This one I'm going to do on my wheel instead of the spindle, because the silk is a longer fiber than the cashmere, and I was spinning it over the fold because it was too difficult to try to separate them, you know, to draft while I was trying to spin in a big clump, and it's all sticky and flying over. So I'm like, let me just pull it off and spin it on the fold. Well, what happened was the silk would go first, and then I'd wind up with puffs of the cashmere. So I was trying at that point, once I noticed that was going on, to really like grab the cashmere and pull it in with the silk, but it was not the most fun fiber to spin, this combination. But I don't even remember how many yards I have. I'm so bad. I may have actually counted it and put it in Ravelry, but I'm not even too sure. But so you can see there was a, yeah, you can't see that. Now you can see that poofy part? That's a cashmere part that didn't spin, and all the rest, like see this part where it spins nice, is the silk. And then you'll get to a poofy part, and there's the cashmere. And so it's a little wonky, but you know, it's soft. It's super, super soft. 2 ounces, I'm not sure what I'll make with it. Maybe I'll make a neck warmer. I don't know. I'll probably dye it too, because It'll be fun to see how the silk and the cashmere go different and take the dye different and see what happens. So that's one spinning. The other spinning, I had this in my stash forever too. I guess this is like get rid of all of the old stuff and do the really new stuff, and then the middle of the stuff can sit there for a while. I had a pound of this, and I bought this at Vermont Sheep and Wool so long ago. And it's from Ashland Bay, and I think it's merino and silk, 'cause it's a little shiny. There's some shiny in there. So it's super soft, and I split it into thirds because I am going to do a 3-ply. I have a pound, so that's quite a lot of fiber. I'm not exactly sure totally what I'm going to make with it. We'll see once it gets finished and how much yardage I have. But I could even, possibly make a shrug or an open sweater with that amount of yardage, very possibly. Here is one bobbin full. This is 1/3 of the fiber, and I'm spinning it kind of fine. Well, it's not super fine. I'm hoping to get like a worsted weight out of this, so I'm not looking for fingering cobweb here. I do want to have something that I can make a sweater with, so I think that'd be kind of fun since it's been in the stash forever. And so that's three things I've spun so far since I've talked to you last. It's been on this kick right now to get things finished, and then I started dyeing. So the process for doing the dyes that have always stopped me was, what am I going to do with the yarn? So I'm trying to have and that's a lot of reasons why I don't just spin. It's because I want to know what I'm going to do with it. I have plenty of yarn that I have no idea what I'm going to do something with. Even hand spun. I've got a bunch of hand spun sitting here. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? I don't know. I kind of don't want it to sit. I want it to actually do something. So I decided before I dyed that I was going to have an idea of what I wanted to use this for, how I wanted to spin it, and then dye accordingly. And that really kind of made the difference for me. And I was talking to a friend who's going to come over and do some dyeing next weekend, and I started talking about that. She's like, oh my God, I feel overwhelmed now. I'm like, okay, well, don't think like that then. You just want to put colors on, just put colors on. For me, I guess it's interesting how everybody's so different. I want to kind of know what I'm going to do with it before I do anything. So I did 3 days of dyeing, and each day I did a pound. I would soak the fibers overnight, or not overnight, but for a long time with the citric acid in it to get that all acidy, and then I would use a syringe to put the dye on. Now it was really interesting because some stuff I spun out too much water, and the amount of dye that I thought was going to work wasn't enough, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now what did I do? I can't put more dye on, it's not going to take it. What's going on? It's very confusing. You dyers are really smart. I use Deb Men's, I think it's All About Color, or Color in the Kitchen, her video to kind of work off of, especially since she uses greener shades, so it was a little bit helpful. And I also had the booklet with the colors on how to make the colors, so then I was trying to make certain colors using those formulas. Anyway, so every day I would do a pound. And the first ones I did were, not those. Those were the last ones I did. Really pretty. The fibers are all different. I've got a bunch of different fibers, all different animal breeds, because I want to see what all these animal breeds are like. That was one of the reasons why I went the last few years with the mission of getting all these different fibers at Rhinebeck, because they're really available and you can touch them and see them and all that good stuff. Let's go with the Tunis first. This is Tunis, and hang on. The yellow was not supposed to be in there. That actually, because I'm mixing my own colors, I think the dye didn't stay mixed in suspension, and when I got to the bottom, that's what I got. But I can, if I don't like it, I can pull it out. Well, there's quite a lot of it now, actually. If you look at some more of it, it's kind of through there. It's not in this one. I must have done this one first. They're the same dyes, and then I just had them next to each other and laid them out. So I have Black Welsh Mountain as well, and it's actual black natural. So what I was planning on doing was, since I have a pound, I can make a sweater with this. I should be able to make a sweater with the pound. Most of my sweaters are under a pound. of fiber weight that I need. And this is not the softest fiber in the world, although it is pretty soft for a Kempe type of fiber. You can see the Kemps. I'll probably pick one off for you. See that white thing right there? That's Kemp. It doesn't dye. It's kind of prickly. So when I spin, I'm going to try to pull them out when I see them. So anyway, it's going to be an outer garment, and I thought it'd be really fun to maybe make a stripy sweater so I can have a color for 2 rows and then the black Welsh Mountain plain for 2 rows, and just do that. And I thought that would be kind of colorful and pretty, and there'll be these pops of oranges and purples and I guess yellow. So that was my intention for this. I wanted something bright to go with the black. This way I have a garment. Okay, that's done. Then I dyed Tunis. I bought 4 ounces of Tunis, and I love these, and I wanted to make a pair of socks with them. So I decided I could go as crazy as I wanted to, and I dyed all these crazy colors. And so what I'm thinking, because one is a little bit lighter than the other one, what I might do, I want a 3-ply. I might do one, split them. I don't know how I do this. Split it into thirds somehow so that I have one light, one dark, and then one mixed. Something. I don't know. But anyway, I do, and I don't want to do a chain ply for socks. I definitely want to do a full 3-ply. But isn't that pretty? Oops, I'm out of frame. Really pretty. Crazy, crazy colors. It should be really fun to spin. I was very inspired at Rhinebeck, although I didn't buy any, because I go there all the time and I go, that's so beautiful, but I could probably do this at home, and wouldn't it be more fun to do that at home? So I finally got my butt going. It was the inspiration I needed to kick me in the butt to go. We're at half an hour already. Okay, I'll hurry. Then I dyed, what is this? This is all the same thing? Yes, this was in pieces though. This is mohair and wool, I think. Yeah, mohair and wool. It's in Ravelry. I don't think the picture is up yet of it dyed because I haven't done that part. And it's all this, it's kind of about this thin all the way, but this one I just put it into, grouped it into 3 and then braided it. Actually, it's not a braid, it's crochet. Oh no, this one might be braided. I braided some and I crocheted most of them. The crochet tube was a lot easier than braiding. Anyway, I'm going to make a shawl out of this, and there's some that's a little bit darker than the other, so I'm going to do it as 2-ply and split it in half. And see the pretty like pops of green? You can't really see the colors very well, can you? It's like blues and greens. It's kind of like deep sea colors. It looks so grainy. Why does my camera look so grainy? Everybody else's cameras look fantastic. Anyway, so I'm going to make a shawl out of this, and I think there is 4 ounces here. Maybe there's 8. I can't remember now. I've had a long couple days, so it is in Ravelry though. So that's fun. So that's going to be a shawl. So far I've got a jacket, socks, and a shawl. And then this is, I bought from Webb's. They have, I like Webb's for their fiber. It's pretty decent price, really, and you don't have to order like a special amount. You can get whatever you want. I ordered some merino, and they have white, and they had this like a mauve-y color. So this is overdyed on the mauve, and this is purples and blue and tiny bit of white, because this is my first ones that I did, and I had a little bit of trouble when I spun it out too much. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. I had a little trouble getting the dye to get all the way around, and I didn't notice some pieces didn't get dyed. So I can probably pull that out when I spin, not a big deal. And I'll probably make a shawl out of this. It's 4 ounces. I like shawls. This one, this is 8 ounces, and I dyed these to be like fall colors. There's purples and sages and golds and rusts in here. Okay. This one's more complete. Well, there's a couple pieces of white than this one. This one has a lot more white in it than the other one. So I thought what I might do is spin them separately and then ply them with each other somehow. Maybe I'll try a cable. I can't remember what I thought I was going to do with this, but it's 8 ounces, so there's quite a bit to make a decent sized project with. Isn't that pretty though? I really like that a lot. Okay, and then so after I did the merino first, then I did the Tunis and the mohair and the White Welsh Mountain. What I did the Sunday was merino tencel, and I love merino tencel because the tencel is so shiny and it doesn't take the same, and it's really fun and it's pretty, and I have spun it before. It was one of my first fiber purchases that I got at Rhinebeck when I first went, and this is purples and silvers and like a charcoal color, and this is 4 ounces, and this will probably be a shawl too because I really like the way they are in shawls. Both of them I spun up when I made a scarf, when I made a shawl. Isn't that cute, buddy? He's so cute. I just love that cat. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I just put this one on top of this one. I wonder what it'd be like to make something with these two together. That's an idea. That's an idea right there. To maybe wrap spin or something. Wow, those look nice together. Okay. And I wanted to make a shawl out of this one. This is blues and greens, and also merino tencel that I got from Webb's. Looks kind of weird. Isn't that pretty? This was so fun. And it really, like, once you get the hang of it and your kitchen set up, it's not really that bad. And then this one is purples, oranges, and rusts. And I'll, again, shawl or something along those lines because I like that with those. And then there's, this one was actually cut in half, so, but it's still only 4 ounces. Isn't that pretty? This is like peaches, and what's really interesting is because I am mixing all my own colors, or not, like I'm not using, the only one I was using all of was purple, but I was making my own purples too. The colors kind of change, and so you get little bits that are different colors in there throughout, just where the dyes happen to change or whatever. But isn't that fun? So anyway, I'm still having trouble figuring out which hand is which when I'm looking at it. What else was I going to show you? I don't know. What time is it? 37 minutes. Maybe we'll call this the end. I will do the his tail. Buddy! Oh, and the little black kitty that you used to see before doing, she had cancer. It's been a tough couple of weeks. So anyway, that's it. I'm enough saying I will do a healthy tip and a recipe and do a separate video for that, because right now I really have to get out the door and get my car inspected. So, I lied. There was one more. I hope you all have a great week. Thank you for sticking around if you're still with me. I know it's been a while. I didn't put a notice on the blog, just on the Ravelry group. I probably could have done that if I thought about it, but I didn't. Anyway, probably be, oh, I was going to tell you about, I'm going to tell you really quick. So, I am moving to Europe very soon. It was supposed to be in October, but it is not now. It will probably be March. However, I'll probably be going over in December to take care of some business that I need to get done there. And I am renting a house, and the house comes with no kitchen. So I have to go put a kitchen in. So that will be really fun. And I keep saying, I don't do this in real life when I talk to people. Why do I do it now? I don't know. Anyway, the cute little house is waiting for me, and I'm really looking forward to being there. Gotta figure out the kitchen and put that in so that when I do get there, it'll be all ready for me and the kitty cats. The funny thing is, when you transfer power over, I'm just trying to talk to the homeowner about this, they actually shut it off for, could be a few days. So when I get there and I do all these transfers, I'm going to have a place with no power. I have no kitchen anyway, so it's not like I can stay there. But and I really only have a bed there and a couch, and the cushions and the mattress aren't even there, just the frames. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting when I go, I'll tell you that, because I can't even bring my stuff right away. It has to sit until my green card. I don't know. I have to figure this out. When I go back in December, I'll figure out how to do this. Apparently, some of the stuff I read says it's duty-free as long as you have your green card. And I'm wondering, does that mean that I've applied for it or actually get it? Because it could take up to 6 months to get your green card. I'm like, I don't really want to sit without my stuff for 6 months. You know what that means. Suitcases and suitcases full of yarn are coming with me. And then, holy cow. So anyway, now I've got low battery. So I really do have to run. I'm moving, tell you, Italy, Europe. So it's Italy, northern Italy. I have renting a house in a little town called Menaggio on Lake Como. Absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. If you ever want to come visit, just let me know. I'll show you around Italy. So, thank you. I will see you in another maybe couple of days. I can probably do that over the weekend to try this recipe for you. And I hope you like it because it might be something you can use on your pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving if you so choose to not use dairy. That's a little hint. And I will have some other healthy tips. I do want to talk about stress because coming up soon, we're all going to be getting stressed out about the holidays. So I want to give you some stress relieving tips and things like that. Okay, so thanks guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day and happy spinning and knitting. Ciao.